Good morning everybody, welcome to Natasha Makes. I'm sorry, I've got my computer hardwiring everything today because we've got a big storm blowing outside and my internet keeps going all over the place. How are you? These are the Odile kits that we've got for you today with her pencil case kits. So in each kit you will get Odile's instructions, H640, all the velvet that you need for your pencil case, a long quarter of fabric and a zip. Oh, coffee is needed this morning. So, I've got the green, which is beautiful. They're all beautiful. They're Odile, for goodness sakes. I have got a red version of the tattoo. And I've only got 2 of the Atlantis. And I just love it. So, do you want to have that on a close-up? Let's show you that on a close-up so that you can just really enjoy these Odile velvets. As ever, the detailing in these, just exquisite. So you're going to get a contrast lining, contrast zip, and away we go. I'm going to demo in the green this morning. Now, what you want to do is cut this in half. We always get a little bit nervous when we have to cut Odile's stuff because it's so beautiful. Bear in mind, we cut stuff every day, so much stuff every day, but it's always one of those things we're a bit like, ah! And then use one of those halves to cut yourself as a template to cut 2 outer pieces, 2 lining fabrics, sorry, and 2 interfacing pieces. I'm just going to trim those back. I cut a strip and then subcut. It's the perfect morning for sewing today. There's an absolute storm raging outside. Okay, so we're going to insert the zip, and again this is all, oh, it would help, wouldn't it, if I actually changed, there we go, that over. So, we've used this as, sorry, it's the milkman coming. What have I done with my scissors? It's one of those mornings this morning, isn't it? We've used this as the template to cut 2 lining, 2 outer pieces, and you're going to interface your lining fabrics there. Just like that. Oh, it's very Tommy Cooper, isn't it? Just like that. Just like that. So give those a good press. A bit of steam if you want. You can interface onto the back of the velvet, but be very, very careful. I wouldn't recommend it. Ask me how I know. Having had a very expensive Odile kit and left it on for too long. It just tarnishes the colour, takes the vibrancy out of the colour. So, if it were me, and it is, I would interface the lining fabrics. There we go. And then we're going to insert the zip as normal. You can either pop your tape. I had a little pair of scissors. What have I done with it? Oh, there we go. I had a little pair of, no, that wasn't. You can either interface the zip or you can interface, not interface, gosh, my words are all over the place, sorry, I had a migraine. I'm just coming out the end of it, and you know how everything just gets a little bit jumbled. I'm there today. If you've never had a migraine, count yourself lucky. There we go. So you can either, like I say, put the tape on the zip. I don't know if I ever actually got around to sewing You can either put the tape on the zip or on the fabric. But this is just my cheat and my little hack. Now, Odile says to use a 25cm zip, which I have done for you. What I would say is run it either way. You might have a continuous zip in your kit, or you'll have this zip. Anyway, enough to say you've got the zip in there. So you can either, bear in mind that you will sew across here, leave yourself at least 1/4 of an inch so that you don't go over the metal bit. When we measure a zip, it's always the bit from metal bit to metal bit. That's how a zip is measured on a pre-made zip. Obviously with continuous zips they're perfect because you get whatever size you want. And we're just going to sew down there. If you do it this way so that your zip pull is out the way, then there's no need to stop and turn, stop and pull the zip pull out the way. And then I would finger press your lining and that velvet outer, and then you can go and top stitch that down. All we're doing when we're top stitching is just making sure that the lining and the outer fabric stay away from the zip teeth. If you were a child of the 70s or 80s, you probably had that Parker coat that, let's face it, always had the zip pull that got stuck. Or the cagoule. It's very annoying. Here we go. Now then, we're going to do exactly the same on the other side here. So right sides together with the top of your zip, and then your lining fabric, right sides together with your lining fabric on the back of that zip. And then sew down just like we did. Again, let's move that lining fabric away, the outer fabric away from those zip teeth, and just top stitch them down in place. Come on, switch, 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 switch. Oh, there we go. Right, it's done it. Perfect. So we've now got our beautiful fabrics, both sides, like that. So now we're going to sew down both sides there. Okay. An 1/8 of an inch all the way down both sides. Let's do that. You can clip and pin. You know me with clips and pins. Doesn't go so well. See if I can get a slightly better. Oh no. I think I've knocked that camera slightly. Sorry. So right sides together all the way down. So you can see how easy this velvet is to sew with. It's very beautiful. Right, so now in Odile's instructions, you can see we are here. Now if you want to, and it is entirely up to you, you can, we're going to turn this through the right way now. You can place a little bit of ribbon if you want to have little pulls or whatever. It's entirely up to you. I don't know if I've got any ribbon. But what we are going to do, so you turn it through like that, and then just turn it through to the lining side, okay, with your zip. And all you want to make sure is that everything is aligning, so that that bottom seam, those bottom seams are aligning with your zip there. If you want to clip those, I don't know where my clips have gone, there we go, then you can. Now this end, obviously if you've used this sort of zip, then you might want to clip both sides there. If you want to put in the ribbon so that you've got a pull, and you don't have to, or a little bit of cork or whatever you've got, then this is the time. I don't know if I've got any, let me have a little look. Oh, look at her, can you hear my spaniel thinking that life is terrible because I'm in here and she's not. What colour was it? I don't have any ribbon that's gonna, I haven't got anything that's gonna work. Is this gonna work? Should have a little look. Yeah. If you want to, you don't have to. If you've got a little bit of ribbon to hand, I've made these where I haven't. But in which case, with the ribbon, just a couple of inches apart, and that will just tuck down in between all of that stuff. So just down in there. You can baste it in place if you want, that's absolutely fine. That's up to you how you want to work with that. I don't know where all my clips have gone, but they really have gone. No, they are. So a little bit of ribbon just in there, or you can use, like I say, if you've got a little piece of cork or something like that, you can just pop that in there. And then we are going to sew across each edge, and then we're going to cut the corners out. Okay, we're nearly there. It is a quick make. Now if you want to bind these ends in a moment, then you can, because Odile leaves them she leaves her edges unbound, and that's absolutely fine. If you've got a zigzag stitch on your machine, I don't have a zigzag stitch on this machine, this is just a straight stitch machine. I'm double checking myself, you see me just double check that I have remembered to put my zip pull that side, because you know that's helpful, and open enough that I can get my fingers in to just wiggle that open now that it's, there we go. Right, so we're going to now cut these squares out of these corners. And it is just 1 inch square from each corner. And I would take it, if you want it to sit really perfectly, I would take that inch from the seam line, because you've got to fold one side, but it's entirely up to you. And I'm going to go and grab my good scissors. That I was cutting the velvet with earlier. Open up that zip. Trim away any excess there. And now on these corners we're just going to box them. So make sure that you're going velvet to velvet there, and all we're going to do, pop those together like that. Now you see velvet doesn't fray, so that's why Odile's left it as it is. But like she says, if you want to over edge stitch it, then you can. That's no bother. But on each corner, we are just going to align that side, that edge seam with the side fold. If you want to use, because you've got plenty of lining fabric, if you want to just bind over those edges, then you can. I never have, and I've never ever noticed ever. It's never been an issue. Not on these. If you're really worried about your lining fraying, then you can use some pinking shears, but honestly I've had that bag, that pencil case over there for years and years and years, and I never did this. I followed Odile's instructions and it's always been great. Because you've interfaced your lining, you've got that extra little bit of protection. Now if you want to just neaten everything up there, then feel free. Like I say, if you want to bind, just bear in mind that if you're binding and going over that seam allowance, that seam stitch there, then you will make it deeper and narrower. And now let's have our beautiful ta-da moment. So open that zip up a little bit more so that we can easily turn this through. And sure enough, we have a gorgeous, gorgeous pouch. And so you can't see those corners inside. And there it is. That is your velvet pencil case. Get your fingers in, ease out those corners. Don't know what I've done with my other tab, it must have fallen out. But there it is. For all your sewing bits and bobs in your velvet case. How beautiful is that? Let's have that on a quick close-up so that you can see. Just love it. Purple sip as a contrast. How stunning is that? She's very, very clever, is our Odile, with the way that she designs things. Very, very, very clever. Give her a due. Absolutely beautiful. So that is your Odile velvet pencil case. We've been making these for years because we love them, and every time she brings out a new design we get them again. So there we go. This one is years and years and years old, and then this is the latest one, and her velvets always impress. So that's today's little make for you, mini make, and I will see you. I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye bye.